over the next few weeks, I'm going to be out in the woods quite a lot overnight, and what I thought I'd do is I'd do a quick video on my lightweight warm weather loadout, the gear that I carry in the woods when the weather is very fine and very warm like it is at the moment. We'll start off with the pack. Now, this wasn't the pack that I was originally going to use, but that's a story for another video. This pack is my LK35 that I've modified. It's got my lightweight frame. The reason this is a good choice is it has this massive airspace running through the back. So all the time you're wearing it, particularly when the weather's hot at the moment, you've got ventilation up through your back. Now, where it's very, very hot at the moment and you sweat a great deal, that cool air passing over your wet clothing actually causes a cooling effect, which is absolutely ideal when the weather's hot and warm like it is at the moment. So we'll start in the top of the pack with the stuff that I need to get to in a hurry. Up here in the top pocket, I've got my little first aid kit. If you look back at my earlier videos, it shows the contents of this and how it's all laid out. That's it in the top pocket. The side pockets, here and on the other side, again contain stuff that I may need in a hurry. Over on this side, obviously with the weather being warm, I need to be able to get at my water. So I've got one of these clear plastic American style water bottles. Excellent piece of kit. I believe they're made by Nalgene, and yeah, very, very good item to have. Along with that, I've also got my USGI stainless steel mug and my cup stand as well. And this is my primary cooking pot. For those of you who look at my videos quite regularly, you see I've got a series on one pot meals, and this is the pot that I normally use. More than adequate for pretty much everything we need on an overnight trip. Also in the side pocket, I've also got my brew kit, and in here I've got everything I need to get myself a brew while I'm on the trail. Methylated spirits, red bush tea bags, a Monkey Boy stove. All the Monkey Boy stove is a little Vaseline tin, some loft insulation, a fiberglass insulation, and a little bit of mesh over the top. And all we do with that is wet it with a little bit of our methylated spirits, and that gives us a little burner that fits underneath our mug stand. And then finally, a little sponge scouring pad combination for keeping my mug clean. What that allows me to do is, while I'm on the trail, I can stop, I can get myself a brew without having to open the contents of my pack. So if the weather is wet, the contents of my pack is going to stay dry. Turning around to the other side, again, it's stuff that I'm going to need to get to in a hurry. And if I'm stopping, whether I'm stopping for a brew or if I'm stopping at the end of the day and I need to get my shelter up quick, it needs to be somewhere I can get to it in a hurry. Once I've got that shelter up, I can then open my Bergen in a protected area. So in the side here, I have my basher or tarp, four tent pegs upgraded with a little bit of orange glint tape on them. As well as my tent pegs, I've also got my cord set, one for each corner and one for the ridge at the top. And finally, my tomahawk for hammering my tent pegs in. All my shelter gear is all in an external pocket on one side. That way I can stop if the weather's bad, get my shelter up without opening my main pack and risking the contents getting wet. Opening the pack up, in the top, a couple of essentials. I've got one whistle for signalling and one little torch. And this little torch runs on one AAA battery. It's got its normal lighting mode, i.e. on off, but it's also got an SOS mode. So that's my little bit of emergency equipment there. Also in the top and easily accessible is this, my lightweight waterproof poncho. If it does start to rain, I can quickly reach into the top of my pack, grab this, put it on over me and the pack. Weighs about 300 grams and is a really useful bit of kit. Stowed in the pocket inside, I've got one lightweight plate, come bowl, and this gets used for eating out of, mixing things in. Really good bit of kit. These are actually pet food trays and you can get them in the supermarkets and they cost nothing at all. They're lightweight, very durable, really useful item to have. Also in the back here, I've got another water bottle, and water at this time of year is absolutely essential, so I make sure I always carry 2 water bottles. As well as a water bottle, I'm also carrying a 5 litre Autoliebe bladder bag, so I can actually carry another 5 litres if I need to. Got my spoon for eating with. Got my wash kit for staying clean, and that's just a little bit of soap, a comb, a lightweight towel, half a toothbrush and a little bit of toothpaste, but it's enough to keep me clean if I'm out for a few days. Little spare folding plastic cup. Again, if I'm using my metal mug for cooking out of, I might want something else for drinking out of. And these hold about 250 millilitres and they're a really useful item to have. Also in the back here, I've got my Laplander folding saw for processing firewood or for making camp projects. I've also got my Milbank bag, and this is used for removing sediment out of water. Now, all we do with these is we soak these in water, be it a stream or a pond, and then fill it with that water, hang it up, and as the water starts to drain through the fabric, when it hits this line, we can then put our receptacle, whether it's a water bottle or a boiling pot, underneath it to catch it. It removes only sediment. It doesn't purify the water, but it gets a lot of the muck out of it. Once that's done, you can then boil it, and this tends to be a primary method of water collection and treatment when I'm out in the woods. I've also got my little metal lid that fits on top of my metal cup. And that's the easy to get to stuff. Then reaching into the main compartment, and this is the bit that's waterproofed. I've got my little hammock. For years I'd used DD hammocks, and I had just one of their very standard models, and I think it came in at just over a kilo. I made this one up using a bit of ripstop parachute nylon and some braided nylon cord, and this weighs in at about 400 grams, and it's a really good, useful, lightweight item of kit to have. Got my spare clothing, and this is a parachute nylon suit, top and bottoms, two separate parts, and I can put this on around camp in the evening. It just gives me something to change into. In an emergency, it gives me an extra layer of clothing that I can put on if I need to. Also got my possibles / admin bag, brightly coloured, and in here I've got everything from a handkerchief that I can use for picking up pans if they're a bit on the hot side, protecting my neck if it's really, really hot, all manner of different things. Sharpening stone, medication, insect repellent, a little torch and a head strap for when it gets dark. And a foil blanket. Got a couple of other items in here. One sleeping bag liner, again made out of parachute nylon, can double up as a scarf if I need it. Useful for in the hammock at night, particularly if it's a little bit chillier than I was expecting. And then finally, my super booby, my US Army poncho liner that's been converted. This is my sleeping bag for while I'm in my hammock. It also serves as my warm kit because I've made a few alterations to it so I can wear it as a coat. So if it does get a little bit chilly in the evening, sat around the fire, I can just pull that on. Lastly, on the outside, this is a foilised piece of foam, and these are windscreen protectors. You've probably seen them on the hot days. People park their cars up and they put these up to protect their car from getting too hot on the inside. What I use this for is a little bit of added insulation on the underside of my hammock, and on my hammock I've put a pocket that runs on the outside across the base. It's just big enough to accommodate that, and all it does is it just takes that little bit of chill off your back and adds that little bit of insulation if you need it. Again, it weighs nothing and packs down pretty small. As far as kit that I'm actually carrying on my person, well, I've got my little folding knife, which is one of these little TBS balls, which is a great EDC knife, on a lanyard which again clips to my belt. So it's actually attached to me to help me stop losing it. Over on the other side, I've got my ferro rod, again attached to me, and with these two, that's my primary cutting tool and means of starting a fire. So there it is, my lightweight summer loadout. Weighs in at about 7 kilos ish. That includes my water that's on there. So it's a fairly lightweight pack to carry. And in this weather where it's really, really hot, you don't want to be labouring under a big, heavy rucksack. This has got pretty much everything I need in it. And it's enough for me to be comfortable out in the woods for a couple of days. Well, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it useful, and above all, if you did like it, hit that big like button, subscribe to the channel, share it, and as always, my email address will appear up in the top corner. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.